Thank you all for coming. I'd like to thank Mohammed for actually inviting me on this panel. It's an honor to be here. My name is Hassan Osman, and I am the Editorial Director of Sowar Magazine, a journalistic and documentary photography magazine that just started out in Beirut, Lebanon. And the reason I'm here is to give you a little bit of a background about the magazine, the concept, and most importantly, how we can help you get published. And that applies whether you're an amateur just starting out or a 30-plus year veteran of photojournalism. What is Sowar Magazine? It is a journalistic and documentary photography magazine that started out in the Middle East. And it basically focuses on pictures with stories behind them. To tell you a little bit of a background about myself, I have absolutely no experience in photography or photojournalism whatsoever. I can barely use I barely have the skills of a point-and-shoot camera. But I love photojournalism. I'm extremely passionate about it. I'm a big fan of the work of fine photographers over here on the panel. And I put together a team of experts while in the States to come up with this concept in Beirut, Lebanon. We had absolutely no idea how the public was going to respond to it. So we started out distributing it for free. And the feedback we got was just beyond phenomenal. So we ended up launching it into international subscriptions now, and we've been getting a lot of raves about it around the region. Just to explain a little bit about the concept of it, there are mainly two spheres in the photojournalism world. We've got photography, which deals with pictures, and journalism, which deals with stories. And we've got magazines in both areas. An example of journalism magazines is Newsweek, for example. And you've got few photography magazines like American Photographer or JPG and so on and so forth. But we focus only on the intersection between both. We focus only on photojournalism, that's pictures with stories. And we believe photodocumentary is as a subset of that. We sometimes venture to this border here where the picture is more powerful than the story itself, or the story is more powerful than the picture, but we remain in that intersection. To give a little bit of a background about how we present photos in our magazine, this is a typical spread of a magazine called Down East. And this is usually the way you see photos or text in a magazine. It's top-heavy towards the text. And you usually have a 3x4 centimeter picture attributed to it. We flip that. This is a typical spread from Sowar Magazine. Our focus is on the picture with minimal commentary. We care a lot more about the picture and giving a lot more. I'll show you some extra spreads of the magazine now, but this is just to give an example of how the concept is about. So who publishes or contributes to Sowar Magazine? If you take the entire population of photojournalists or photographers, you're a beginner starting out, just experimenting with different techniques, between 0 to 3 years of experience, or you're an expert with 15 to 20 years. You've published a couple of books, or you've worked with top international magazines, or your own highly reputable studios. And the people who've published in Sowar Magazine so far is this entire slide. We've had everyone from the spectrum of beginner, just even studying photojournalism, up to a 30-plus year veteran of photojournalism. We care more about the photo than the resume behind the pictures. So at the end of the day, if we find as an editorial committee that your pictures do have a story worth publishing, it will be published. These are some just sample spreads of the magazine. I'm going to flip through them quite quickly just because we're running out of time. As you notice, a lot of pictures, we're very generous with the photo sizes and its minimal commentary in terms of captions and all that. One thing worth mentioning, this is a documentary done by a Spanish photographer called David Xavier. And the way we usually publish in the magazine is 10 to 12 entire pages dedicated to one photographer. It starts out with a title, a couple of small paragraphs about the documentary behind it, and just minimal captions that go along with the pictures. So this is another spread of that same theme. It's called Reflections on Downtown Beirut. He basically took shots of downtown Beirut through mirrors and all that. And as you see, we dedicate so little space for the actual commentary, and it's more about the pictures in it. To wrap this up really quickly, it's your magazine. What we do as a concept is we take documentaries that you've already worked on. We're a volunteer-based magazine, so it's more about marketing your own work in it. And we publish it in the magazine every couple of months. And just to explain a little bit about the publishing benefits of this, and again, this applies whether you're a beginner or an expert in photojournalism. We do a print run of 10,000 copies, 8,000 which are distributed to Tier 1 bookstores around the country, and 2,000, and this is quite important because we have a couple of thousand copies which are distributed for free to advertising agencies and a couple of hundred magazines. And this helps out a lot. In our first issue, a student of photojournalism published his work in it. And he got a call immediately after the magazine hit the market, before he actually saw it, for an interview for a job, for a prospective client. So it helps a lot with the exposure. And again, generous photo sizes, we don't usually publish anything smaller than a couple of centimeters big on high quality print. And it's usually a dedication of at least 10 pages. In fact, I know Jack Nicon is giving his photojournalism workshop here at Gulf Photo Plus, and we are going to be publishing the top photo essay.